Star Playhouse presents Charles Boyer, Dick Powell, David Niven, Lupino.
We present Charles Boyer in The Executioner.
Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, Pater Noster, in nomine Sanctus, Amen. Ene nos inducas in tentatione, sed libera nos a malo, apporte inferi, erue Domine animum Ieus.
Mrs. Rogers, do you think she'll go back to the States?
What else?
We'll have to make a report on this to Washington.
I'd wait till they're through with their investigation.
They won't publish the results.
We have ways.
It'll be a court-martial. There's the presiding judge.
Amen.
Who represent the government?
The Minister of the Interior. Police actions are under his jurisdiction.
This was no police action. This was murder. I'm sorry for her.
I'll tell you something. The court-martial will prove nothing. There's that terrible major of police behind all this, Tenente. And he's here. Can you imagine such insolence?
Tenente is a responsible man. He wouldn't kill without good reason.
He would. He has.
Per Christum Dominum Nostrum. Amen.
And you decided on your own initiative that the American Dr. Rogers was to be killed.
The American Dr. Rogers was engaged in espionage.
And you, a police officer, sentenced him to death.
Not exactly. To be specific, the decision was made by my chief, Colonel Morel.
Colonel Morel, then, decided on his initiative.
This is correct.
And you acted on his orders.
Exactly.
You feel no guilt for what has occurred?
None whatever. A kind of inevitable sorrow, perhaps.
Major, it might be better if you told your story in its proper sequence, without interruptions.
Certainly. I will begin with the nature of Colonel Morel's mind.
We are not interested in your psychological views, Major.
Interruptions?
Go on, Major.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I only wanted to point out that it was not advisable to disobey Colonel Morel's orders. He informed me that Dr. Wesley Rogers, a physician working at the American clinic, had smuggled intelligence reports to the United States.
Colonel Morel, then, was satisfied as to the truth of his suspicions?
He did not suspect, he was convinced. The doctor sent his reports in guise of medical research statistics, experimental equations and such. Actually, they were armament reports.
So you became convinced, too?
It was not necessary that I be convinced. I simply carry out orders. Colonel Morel ordered me to have Dr. Rogers killed.
Killed? Well, he could not have said that.
Let me put it this way. Morel suggested that it would be for the good of the country if Dr. Rogers ceased his hostile activities.
He said killed.
His honor has more regard for the power of words than you and I do, Major. So let us try not to be so straightforward.
The inner chamber of the State Security Police is not a ballroom, Your Excellency.
But why killed? Why not tried and jailed or deported?
Well, Colonel Morel did not wish to antagonize the American government.
Did he think they would like an execution better?
It was decided that Dr. Rogers should be killed by an unknown party for gain or private reasons. It was to be a clean, unpolitical murder. There were to be no loose ends.
But it didn't work out that way.
In a theoretical sense, it did. I myself chose the killer.
The executioner.
A legal point. It was a Lieutenant Tamar.
Well, didn't he question the advisability of the plan?
Lieutenants don't question majors. I gave him a heavy caliber, non-military hunting rifle and a simple order. Shoot to kill.
Shoot to kill.
Well told, Major. You're a good witness. Would it be an indiscretion on the part of a friend of the court to suggest that Lieutenant Tamar come in now and continue the story?
No objection. Ask Lieutenant Tamar to come in.
You may step down, Major, for the moment.
You are Lieutenant Tamar?
Yes, Your Honor.
We know the background to the story, so without any preliminaries, suppose you tell us your part in it.
The Major. He called me to his office and told me to kill an American spy.
How did you know he was a spy?
I didn't. Major Tenente told me so.
Did you ever meet Dr. Rogers?
Yes.
Did he look like a spy to you?
Anyone may be a spy, whether they look like one or not. But it is a spy's business not to look like one.
Back to your story, Lieutenant.
On the 25th, Major Tenente asked me to come to his office.
Ordered you, Lieutenant.
I'm sorry, ordered me. I found him in his office.
This is the rifle you're going to use. Well balanced, accurate.
I know the type. A hunting rifle, American made.
Yes, American. Ironic, is it not? However, this is the man, Colonel.
What is your name?
Lieutenant Tamar, sir.
Ah, the winter campaign on the Broadville River. 2nd Cavalry Regiment.
Yes, Colonel.
I talked to you in a field hospital. Landmine, wasn't it?
16 fragments in my abdomen, sir.
But you were supposed to die.
Not when my country and Colonel Morel needed me.
Our country, Lieutenant. We're all her servants. At ease. I approve, Major.
An excellent marksman.
He'll have a good target.
All targets are good.
Has he been briefed?
Your instructions, Lieutenant.
Dr. Rogers is on duty at the American clinic every other night. One morning, to be designated for action by Major Tenente.
Within a week?
I shall approach the doctor as he leaves the clinic. I shall be in a car.
Private. License plates removed.
And shoot him with this rifle.
To the heart. What will you do, Lieutenant, if he's not alone?
In that case, I should advise postponement.
Any delays will mean that he has that much more time to destroy our security.
He's being watched day and night, Colonel.
I want action, Major, and I want it now.
You shall have it, Colonel.
Very well. I'll leave the rest of it in your hands, Major. From now on, it's your department. You will report the results through the regular channels to the Minister of the Interior.
At ease. Sit down. That was a great moment for you.
I could die for him.
That shouldn't be very difficult. As Dr. Rogers arrived, send him in. I want to give you a chance to have a good look at your victim. There may be some traffic around the clinic, and it is imperative that you kill Dr. Rogers and not another doctor or a patient. Good morning, Doctor.
Major?
Will you sit down, please?
Thank you.
Now, where did I put it?
You can skip my dossier, Major. You know it by heart.
Here it is.
Why did you ask me here?
Illegal parking.
We both know I don't have a car.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. Stupid of me. Well, now that you're here, let us have a little chat.
I've been at the clinic all night, Major. I'm very tired.
It won't take long. You dislike this country?
Is that a statement or a question?
Both.
All right, I do.
What's keeping you here?
Rickets, fevers, malnutrition. Too many patients, too much misery. In other words, Major, what I dislike about your country is what's keeping me here.
I understand you are conducting some kind of medical research.
I do no such thing, Major. I'm a doctor. I only know how to heal injured tissue.
But you send out reports to the Foundation in the United States.
I do not.
One more thing. Are you aware that your private mail is under surveillance?
Of course I am.
That is all, Doctor.
Good.
Oh, will you convey my respects to Mrs. Rogers, please? I met her the other day at Colonel Morell's reception. She's a very beautiful woman.
Thank you, Major. That's an American rifle, isn't it? I used to own one like this. A reliable weapon. Quite deadly.
But that's how I met Dr. Rogers. The next time
Just a moment. Step down. But he hasn't finished his testimony yet. He can continue later. Step down. I want to ask Major Tenenti a few questions.
Major, if you please.
This is the first time I have heard that Dr. Rogers was to be killed when leaving the clinic some morning. The killing was done at night at the Rogers home through the living room window. Why?
At the last moment, I had to change the plan.
This was in disobedience to Colonel Morell's orders.
No, Your Honor, I never disobey orders. I merely improved upon a suggestion. After making a survey of the grounds around the clinic, I came to the conclusion that it was not safe. One of the American nurses could have observed the shooting.
Why not have her killed, too?
Killing witnesses is against the economy of successful murder.
Dr. Rogers was supposed to be using a research experiment as a cover, yet he has said that he was not doing any research work, nor sending any reports to America. Now, if he was a spy, wasn't he an incredibly stupid one to deny his own camouflage?
One could not call Dr. Rogers a stupid man.
Ah, then you knew Dr. Rogers was innocent.
That is so.
And you knew that Colonel Morell was mistaken.
I did.
Why did you not cancel the orders you had given to Lieutenant Tamar?
Your Honor, I sent a report to His Excellency, the Minister of the Interior. Until some action was taken, I was still under the orders of Colonel Morell.
Even if the death of an innocent man was involved?
Exactly.
I don't understand. I'm an old man. I just don't understand anything anymore.
Let me explain, Your Honor. Major Tenenti saw to it that his report reached my office through regular, devious, bureaucratic routes, so that by the time I received it, Lieutenant Tamar had fired his shot, presenting my office with an airtight case against the colonel.
But a killing!
Major Tenenti, I believe it was Colonel Morell who replaced you after the revolution.
You know that? Why ask it?
And he is no longer chief of the state police.
A great pity.
By any chance, Major, could you recommend someone for his post?
Himself! That's why he did it. He was jealous of Colonel Morell. Jealous of his greatness.
Lieutenant.
Of the love we all felt toward him. You were a traitor.
Attention! At ease. You are mistaken, Your Excellency. I do not aspire to Colonel Morell's position, and I do know you would never give it to me.
Then why did you trap him?
Because he was manipulating the police for personal reasons. For my country, I'm willing to kill. But I have only contempt for a man who will arrange a murder in order to carry on an intrigue. You see, Your Honor, I had known for a long time that our great hero was deeply involved with the wife of Dr. Rogers.
Now you have proved your case against Morel, Major.
But there is still the killing. The killing and indeed the whole affair will still have to be explained to the American consul.
There is no need to explain the killing. Let Morel's story stand. It was done by an unknown person for private reasons.
The Americans are no fools. A culprit would be better. Much better.
No, it was I who gave the order to the lieutenant. There will be no scapegoat.
Perhaps you're right. You deserve some reward for your service, no matter how irregularly you performed it. However, Lieutenant, for the record, I would like you to complete your story.
Please. You wanted his testimony. The boy is overwrought.
You are still a witness, Major. Sit down. Let the lieutenant come forward.
Where shall I start, Your Excellency?
The night of the murder.
On the night of the killing, I did nothing I wasn't ordered to. I took my post overlooking the house on a small hill some distance away. Back to the car and returned to quarters. I was undressing when the police called. I was asked to return to the Rogers house. It was guarded by a few officers. The whole thing was very secretive and mysterious. I then saw Major Tenente. Is there anything wrong, sir?
No, nothing.
I thought perhaps I did not hit him right.
No, Lieutenant, you've done your duty remarkably well. Right through the heart. Mrs. Rogers, does it bother you?
No, sir.
We're now waiting for the Minister of the Interior. Yes, there has been a slight slip. No. Not your fault. But there will be an investigation and you will be involved.
No, madam, please.
Let me in. I want to see him once more, please.
Madam, this is against police regulations.
How dare you speak to me?
I understand how you feel about this terrible tragedy.
How could you? You're glad. This is your triumphant day. Now you are the great hero. Even if you had to murder a man to become one.
You're in pain, madam. It distorts your judgment. I understand.
Let me see him.
Now, please, madam.
I did not know it was going to be like that. I did not.
I hope, Your Excellency, that you have enjoyed this emotional exhibition. That's enough, Lieutenant. If you want to be a man, always stand by what you've done. May the witness step down. You are excused, but not forgiven.
There's only one witness left. You wish to hear him?
I respectfully submit that he should be heard.
Let the last witness come in. Take a stand, if you will, please.
This is the man who should have died. This is the man I thought I was aiming at Rogers' house. Who could dream the man in the window was anyone but Rogers? Instead, it was the greatest man our country ever produced, Colonel Morel. And I murdered him.
Lieutenant.
I didn't mean to do it, Your Honor. It was he, the American, who was supposed to die. And he will.
Lieutenant.
Get out of my way, Major.
Drop that gun. Instantly. Guard. Take him into custody.
Flower of the nation.
I'm sorry for the interruption.
Your name is Dr. Wesley Rogers?
That's right.
You're a citizen of the United States?
Yes. But I'm being treated as unjustly as if I were a native of your country.
My dear doctor, we are deeply embarrassed over the gross mistake Colonel Morell made about your loyalty to our country.
I'm not loyal to your country, sir. And Morell did not make a mistake. He simply wanted me out of the way.
But now he is dead instead.
Providence works in mysterious but sometimes highly efficient ways.
But I'm being held in custody. Why?
There is still the question of the murder of Colonel Morell.
You want to hold me responsible for that? But you know I didn't do it.
Perhaps not. But you had a very good reason.
So had the whole country.
Major Tenente, just whom are you representing here?
A strange, distorted sense of decency, sir, but I apologize.
You had a special and personal reason to kill him, did you not?
I did. And I would have killed him gladly, but I didn't. Your man killed him, thinking it was I. I heard him say that just now. And I can prove that that night I was working at my clinic.
My dear doctor, we are not interested in facts. We are interested in appearances, how things will seem to the world at large, like your suddenly being called back to duty at your clinic on your customary night off.
They brought in a difficult case, so they called me in.
Who called you?
I can't say, but what does it matter? My whole staff can testify I was there.
But they're your countrymen.
You insinuating they'd lie?
To us, savages? Yes.
What do you want with me? Is this blackmail?
Yes, Doctor. But I would say it represents a wise compromise. We want your cooperation, Doctor.
How?
We want you to leave the country.
Do you think after what's happened I'd stay?
There is a little more that we want from you.
What is it?
Complete silence. Forever.
There's nothing for me to brag about.
There's nothing for you to be ashamed of either. Will you promise?
As a favor to you, yes. I promise.
Court dismissed.
Clever, my dear Major. You have been exonerated, and Morell is resting in peace. Very clever, my dear Major.
His Excellency has a remarkable sense of humor.
By the way, Major, somebody saw you after the funeral putting a rose on Morell's grave.
It was a comedian.
For such an out-and-out scoundrel.
The man we buried died as a scoundrel. But once he was a hero. The flower was for the hero, Your Excellency. You know, Doctor, it's a shame you have to leave the country now. Perhaps it will be a better place to live in soon.
Through treachery and bloodshed? Never.
How else can you act in our time? Is it better to be pure and do nothing? Colonel Morell was a cruel, corrupt man. He was above the law. He had to be stopped.
He's dead now. Could have been I.
Yes. But fate decided otherwise.
Fate and the voice that called me on the telephone that evening asked me to come over to the clinic.
The voice of Providence.
Your voice, Major. I recognized it. Thank you.
Are you going to America, Doctor?
Where else? At least I'll be among my own people. Still, it will be lonely.
I know. One can be very lonely among one's own people.